This is me in the big room of Plainview Middle School. I'm right here in the middle, right behind the teacher.
Howdy, Dad.
Hi, Eric.
Uh, what's your name?
It's Paul Still.
How old are you?
I must be 76.
And what are you going to talk about?
Well, I understand I'm going to be talking about my fourth grade experiences. So, fourth grade was a big deal for me because I went to a two-room country school, and we had the little room and the big room. And you were in the little room when you were in first, second, and third grade, and then you graduated to the big room. And so in the big room there were the fourth graders, the fifth graders, and the sixth graders. And it was, you really feel power once you've made it to the big room. Well, of course, this was back in the olden days, and we didn't have running water. We had outdoor bathrooms, one set for the girls and one set for the boys. They were connected by sidewalks, concrete sidewalks. So one of the things we sometimes did was people brought in their roller skates, and we were able to roller skate up and down the sidewalks to go to the bathroom. The other thing is that since we didn't have running water, we actually had a pump. So we would go outside and pump the pump to get water, and the schools would give us these little cone cups that you often see with water dispensers, and that's what we would drink out of. So it was quite the rural experience, but most of us didn't have bathrooms running water at home either, so it was all quite natural.
What was home life like in fourth grade?
Well, fourth grade, we lived above the country store that my father and mother ran, and so we had at that time, of course, we didn't have television. We had radio, so we listened to the radio programs like Lone Ranger and some others. But because it was a country store, it was pretty much open 24 hours, so people could come pound on the door anytime that they wanted food or wanted to buy something, which was kind of neat. But then we didn't have actually a school bus to take me to school. There was a person who drove a car, and so he would put 4 kids in the car and drive us to the school, which was in a little town called Plainview, Illinois. The place that we were living, the store, was called Macoupin Station, and the store and about 2 houses was the total size of the town, but it was on the map. And it was very close to Beaver Dam State Park in Illinois.
Did you have a phone in the store?
Yes, we had a really neat phone that hung on the wall, and we had a party line, and you would twist a crank, and your phone number locally was then based on whether long, short, or 2 longs and a short. And of course, anybody on the party line could listen to what you were saying. And then I can't remember how to phone out. I think we had to do something to get to an operator who then made the connection to the outside number. Our big activity, of course, was all of our recess activities, and we had had a big playground, well, a big field, which was the playground. One of the interesting things at the school was that we had a tornado shelter, and it basically was made out of a metal cylinder that was half buried in the ground, and it had doors on both ends, and if a tornado was imminent, we would go into that shelter. But the shelter also was a play item for us. We would climb up on top of it and slide down it. And One of the big things we had was a ball field, so we played a lot of softball. And we had actually a merry-go-round kind of deal and a set of swings. And the people who were really brave and were good would do a move which we call go over the bar. They would get swinging so fast that they would actually go over the bar and come back down on the other side without falling out of the swing. I was never brave enough to do that move. And then the other thing that we would do would be get swinging as high as we could and then jump out and see how far out we would end up landing. We also had a teeter-totter, and it was one of the games we played is somebody sat on the end of the teeter-totter and we walked up it and then jumped off the other end. So we kind of abused our playground equipment. And one of the big things that happened while I was there is the school milk program started. So we had a refrigerator, and then we would get the little cartons of milk. So everybody brought their lunch in either paper bags or lunch boxes, but then we were able to buy milk, and if I remember right, it was 2 cents a carton. And there was chocolate and plain milk, and I always went for the plain milk.
Okay, well, I think that's the conclusion of the interview.
All right.
With this camera. Let's see what happens if I push this button.